No music. No music. No music. You gonna freestyle with me? No music. We could try. I'm sitting with my sis Ernestine. It's the cOHllab. We about to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I am not the freestyler. I'm just here sitting with trying to chill in the chair. Y'all know I cannot. This is so awkward.
Okay, first of all, don't say awkward because it's giving my favorite female rapper.
You know, from 1984.
Ladies and gentlemen, honestly and truly, this powerhouse, this visionary needs no introduction. I was blessed to meet her along my journey in entrepreneurship where she gave me some incredible advice that I literally have on a Post-it in my bathroom to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to meet Ernestine Chambers, the founder and visionary of UpSkill, etc., where she not only helps you and your corporations with DEI trainings, but also helps to really give more emphasis to workforce development and making sure that you have the talent you need for your business. Ernestine, what's up?
What's going on?
It's the cOHllab.
I'm so excited to be here.
First of all, you got me feeling real special because my sis flew in.
Yeah, about to catch another flight.
She flew in all the way from
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Baltimore,
much for
Maryland.
being here, sis. How you feel?
I feel great.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, me too. Me too.
You can't have, you can't not feel great with your energy.
Oh.
You know, so that's automatic.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Well, let's get to it. Speaking of energy and automatic and just all of your greatness, again, I've been blessed to have incredible conversations with you along my entrepreneurial journey. You give great advice. Your story is incredible. Y'all, she is a powerhouse entrepreneur. But talk to us a little bit about who Ernestine Chambers is and where this idea of UpSkill, etc., was birthed for you.
Yeah. So who Ernestine would probably take the entire time.
True.
But, you know, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, pretty much grew up in that single parent household.
Yeah.
You know, poverty, the impacts of poverty and understanding like access comes from access to opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. And really a lot of people are left behind because of lack of access.
Yeah.
And so initially I was like, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna be a social worker.
Okay.
Right? I'm gonna heal the world, you know, make it a better place. And my Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
And then I fell into workforce development.
Okay.
It's not like workforce development is not an industry that creates a career pathway for kids coming out of school to say, hey, I want to grow up and be a workforce development professional.
Correct.
Right? It's something that you just happen to walk down the street and you fall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I fell in love.
Oh.
Right?
Nice.
And I fell in love with workforce development primarily because it creates access and opportunity for people who otherwise wouldn't have it. And so I found myself running programs for a national organization in Baltimore and changing results, right? Where 80% of the people who were less likely to get jobs or maintain jobs were going into jobs. They were changing their family. They were beginning to have hope and see inspiration for what they can do for their children. Ended up winning a national award in 2016. I won a National Association of Workforce Development Professionals award. And when I did that, I remember speaking in Orlando with my kids in the audience, and they had went through the struggle with me, right? Like watching me progress in my career. And I remember looking out on that audience and I said, it's so much more that needs to be offered.
Yeah.
And there's unique things that I bring to the table that systemically we have to address. And so that's when UpSkill was birthed, right? That's when I pretty much pushed her out into the world. And at that time, I had etc. At the end because I didn't know which route I was going to go with it. And you'll notice in anybody that's out here trying to be an entrepreneur, you'll start off with one idea and organically it will just begin to grow and expand and go in other directions.
Yes.
And so when I started out with etc., it was like I couldn't put a thumb on it, right? And now we're in 2024, right? And UpSkill, etc., has now became the leading training provider in workforce development. And so it just, you know, and the funny thing is the training consistently was happening.
Yes.
But I was like, oh, I'm gonna do these grants for people and I want to help them get access to wealth and I want to help build I wanted to do all these different things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that was slow and steady and consistent was the development of people.
Yeah.
Human capital development.
Yes. And Ernestine, first of all, and we just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. But so many things can be said there. I think the thing that I want to really harp on that you spoke of is using what you came from as a way to solve a problem. And you being able to help people solve this problem with trainings and strategies essentially helps to grow your business. But I want to talk a little bit about being multi-hyphenated. So like you said, you used to help with grant writing and all that. And then you said, but still, even through that, there were a lot of things consistent and it helped you build UpSkill. What are some advice that you have for the multi-hyphenate who is throwing everything and trying to see what sticks in their business? Because it can get discouraging, when you're like, where's the fruit, the ROI on this? What's some advice?
So the biggest thing I say is, someone's going to say, stay in one lane.
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, some of us are born into the world where we're forced to be in multi-lanes. So we don't always have the privilege of staying in one lane. So that also gives us the privilege and opportunity to be able to handle more than one lane.
That's
right. So I always say, number one, look at what you can handle. Right. You see 2 hands, I got 6. Right. And so no one else can determine what you can handle within your business.
Yeah.
But more importantly, use data. Analyze the impact. Look at your results, right? I have tons of grant clients, and I'm talking about big, high-end grant clients, right? But at the end of the day, when I look at the input versus the output, the ROI, like really evaluating the data, looking at the profit margins. And I think as entrepreneurs, we want to do what we love so much, but we don't want to do what we hate. Which is get organized, right? Have documentation, have processes in place, get systems in place. Use data because, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Hello.
That's what Jay said, right?
Women lie. Come on.
Yeah, right. So the idea is I'm driven by numbers.
Yeah.
And I really encourage my clients to say, okay, sure, they participated in this training, but how do you measure the impact based on how they show up at work? How are your profits increasing because this investment you've put into this training?
Yes.
So you got to evaluate every service or product you have within your organization and really pay attention to what they're really doing.
So many gems. I hope y'all run that back. Yeah. So good. And thank you also for giving, especially the creative preneurs, permission to use numbers a little bit, use data, right? Because I think I am definitely a creativepreneur. Amen. 1 + 1 is 2, and that's where my math goes. Amen. But what I love is you're really encouraging us to recognize it's okay to do a little bit of both. And not only is it okay, it's important. It's important in building your business.
Absolutely.
Let's talk how UpSkill is literally just changing the game for a lot of businesses and corporations. I mean, your trainings, you have been, given awards for, I'm just so proud of you seeing the elevation. Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like when you collab with businesses and corporations.
Yeah. So, number one, I still didn't want to put our training in a box.
Yeah.
Right. So it's levels to this. One of the components is I never wanted to take away from my community involvement and giving back. So a part of our service is that we literally provide workforce training, mindset training specifically for individuals who have been incarcerated for 20 years or more, individuals who have suffered addiction, so that they can get into the workplace, right? And teaching them how to tell their story in a way that is impactful, but not tarnishing to the point that the world holds their past choices against them, right? So that's one component. And we partner with local businesses in Baltimore to make sure this happens, right? And then we get the opportunity to really work with corporations and look at individuals. I'm sure everyone has experienced this. The person who can do the job really well,
right?
And then they get promoted,
right?
But they're not a leader yet.
Ooh.
Right? Some of us are in that situation, right? We're like, I know I'm great at what I do. I got promoted, but I got to manage these people.
Right.
Right.
It's different.
I used to love the job until I had to handle these people.
Exactly.
So usually what we do with corporations is we really work with them to develop those people. Right. Just imagine, like, I know investing in the people that you have already so that they can become the pipeline and pathways higher up.
Yeah.
And just according to the labor market, the higher end positions are hardest to fill.
Oh, really?
Right? So it's better to take those entry level people, develop them, they're now vested in the company.
Yes.
They're committed to the outcomes that the company had, and then they become the leaders of the company later on. So that it's a twofold. You don't have to worry about putting out. So we do a lot of just collaborating with different corporations to really understand what they need.
Yes.
You know,
that's good.
At local community nonprofit level to large corporations.
Yes, that's so good. And also, shout out to Central Piedmont Community College. I went there.
Okay.
I also was blessed to work there for a small stint. But I got to tell you, one of the things that I love that they're doing is this idea of workforce development.
Yeah.
It's actually quite not hot button issue, but a theme that comes up a lot here in the Queen City is how are we impacting the talent pipeline, right?
Yeah.
How are we making sure that we are putting this generation in position to do great in these businesses? Talk a little bit about, how UpSkill, et cetera, how you do your style of workforce development. Because what I love is it's not just for kids coming out of high school. And no, we're talking about adults from different experiences.
All the way around. So I think one of the unique things that we bring to the table is the mindset development. Yeah. Right? Because we could have, I've spent years. I've been in workforce development for over 17 years. Yeah. Right? But I'm younger than what I look.
I know you see it.
Okay. But the thing about it is I think we spend a lot of time getting hard skills. And in workforce development language, that means I'm going to get you a credential, right? We end up with a person who has CNA, pharmacy tech. They have every last medical certification that takes 6 months to get or 4 weeks to get, but no job. Right. Or we put them in situations where business developers go out and build relationships with businesses to get people jobs, but they can't keep them. Right. Okay. And when you really evaluate why individuals don't keep jobs, it's not because of their skill set. It is because of their mindset. And so let me break this down so it can be visual, right? Imagine we go to a lovely 5-star restaurant here in Queen City. Yes. Okay. And they come to the table and they put our filet mignon and our Rosetto, because that's what I love, directly on the table with no plate. What? Now, as much as we may love this gourmet meal, without the presentation, I don't want to eat it, no matter how great it is. Yes. And one of the things that we do differently is we address the plate, right? The plate is the thing that you can't teach necessarily with a credential. Right. It's something that must be worked on internally, and a person must be inspired to even want to address those issues. So we also got to get down and dirty and say things that employers can't say to their staff. Right. Okay. Right. Because we're outside, we're able to actually call you out on things that you aren't held accountable for, like coming to work late. Okay. And not meeting your deliverables. Yes. Or my favorite, you show up to work late. Yeah. Then you go to all your friends at work and you ask them what they want to eat for lunch. Right. And then around 11 o'clock, you go pick up the lunch. Right. And at 12 o'clock, you guys all eat the lunch. Right. And now you worked 4 hours today. Right. Right. I mean, so.
It sounds familiar and we get it. It sounds familiar and we get it. And I thank you so much for really discussing workforce development, because again, it's one of those things where I feel like we should keep the conversation going, right? Especially in understanding what it looks like and, ways that you all can show up and collab with others like Ernestine to definitely promote workforce development. So here we are, 2024. Speak to some of the incredible accomplishments UpSkill, et cetera, has going on. Y'all, if you visit the website, you will see the incredible, first of all, you can just scroll for all her incredible clients and just wins, but tell the people some of your favorite wins. I know they all your favorite, but for the impact.
So I think one of my favorites is a partnership we have in Baltimore with a company called Turnaround Tuesday. Okay. I love Turnaround Tuesday because they spend a lot of time, it's a movement. Yes. And they focus on relationship development, which then allows opportunity for people who usually would not have access to high wage jobs to get employed. Okay. Right. So that's one of my favorites. I had the honor this year of training at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Wow. And University. And so that's huge, right?
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Hopkins. And, that goes to their employees coming in entry level and being promoted, but never knowing, having an opportunity to lead staff and preparing them for that through leadership development. So that's one of my, Hopkins, little
Yes.
Ernestine Hopkins,
Okay.
So that was really exciting for me. But I think if I had to really think about a real win,
Yeah.
and as much I love all my clients, I
Yeah.
don't ever want to take that away. But the real win is when I'm in Norfolk, Virginia, and I see a person who came through a training and she said, I just got a promotion. Or when I'm walking in Baltimore, Maryland, and I see a young lady come to me and she says, baby, this Miss Chambers, the one I was telling you about, right? And now she's able to get her child food and not have to worry about. So when I see people growing, UpSkill's mission is to help elevate people. It's to grow. We're the grow getters.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
So if that's what it comes down to. When I'm watching corporations, or even, I think about a client I had who I did grant writing for 4 years ago.
Okay.
Who now has hired me to come back and do training because they've scaled up so much. They got a team. We need to operationalize this, right?
Yes, let's
so
go.
It's just exciting to see that we're one step farther than where we were.
I love that. Okay, but serious question, because a lot of the familia are based in New York, here in Charlotte.
Yep.
I love Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
We're everywhere, but say somebody here in Charlotte wants to hire, upskill, etc. Though you all are based in Baltimore, you be outside.
Oh yeah, we outside. We actually have clients in Chicago, Atlanta, Louisiana. We're in South Carolina. We are a national training organization. So I flew in to see you. And the thing about it is we're not here to replace people in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So UpSkill, we are very intentional about hiring locally.
Yes.
Right. And so, when I think about our Louisiana staff, they're Louisiana bred. We come in, we train them, we teach them the culture, and then we execute from there. So I think if we were looking at collaboration, think about you're already, look at the community college, right?
Yes.
You're already providing the education.
Yes.
But your students aren't landing the job or maintaining the job.
Yes.
UpSkill is there for the mindset component, or the development, or even the development of your teams, right?
Okay.
Because workforce development people fall into.
Yes.
So we train workforce development professionals to get outcomes, to be able to read legislation, to get policies and procedures in order, performance and compliance. So it's so many different things that we do on a local, state, level. The goal is, how can you be better?
Yes. Okay.
We're there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So, familia, you heard here in the Queen City. Yes, you can collab with Ernestine. What I love is she comes in and she essentially just helps your familia thrive from the inside out. So she works with you. She ain't trying to come in and overtake. She wants to work with you. And that's what I love about this collab, right? Speaking of collab, Ernestine, I remember you and I talking about this, and here we are. I'm so grateful to have you here all the way from
manifestation.
Yo, when I tell y'all, I kept asking her off camera, is this real? Like, you really here, girl? So I'm just so grateful. But, I'm just so very proud of you. And I love all of the impact and things that you have going on. But, you blessed me along my entrepreneurial journey. But I want you to bless other people. What's some advice? I always love going this direction because there are some people who need that word of advice that you have for the entrepreneur who is the multi-hyphenate. Yeah. But I think above all, just along their journey, because we see a lot of mountains, we see some valleys. Yeah. Just give somebody a word of encouragement to keep going, all the things.
Number one, be intentional.
Yeah.
Right? Each day that you wake up, be grateful and be intentional to scale your business. Be mindful of who's around you, right? If you're around people that's saying a lot of it won't work, it can't happen, shift your circles, right? I think cry. Ooh. It's days when I wake up and I just cry.
I felt that in my soul.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm very intentional by putting myself around people who are where I want to be. Right? People who are where I want to be, because a lot of times, even the people who say that you can't get there, they're not saying it because they're haters. I know that's what Instagram want us to believe. Ooh. They're saying it because they don't believe in their own selves. Right? You can only project on others what you can see for yourself. Right? So they really hating on themselves, not on you. And so you got to be very protective of what you share so that you're only being around people who are going to put words of encouragement in you. But at the end of the day, don't be afraid to fail. Fall forward. Yeah. Fall, scrape your knee. I'm going to just say this, just to your audience. Yes. There's only one time in life when we have grace for falling. And that's when you see that cute little toddler,
Yeah.
right? You ever see the little baby, they got the little
Yeah.
fat thighs and they
Yeah.
stand up and they do that little walk and you be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they fall down, you be like, oh, come on, baby. And you tell them
Mhm.
to get back up again.
Yeah.
That's when we stop doing that as people. Can you imagine if we had an idea and we
Yeah.
went out on it and we failed and someone said, it's okay, get back up? The only way
Wow.
those babies move from crawling to walking is because they keep failing at walking.
Yeah.
So take your business, keep failing at it. But the thing is, evaluate it, learn it, and put yourself around people who aren't failing at it.
Yes.
Right?
Oof.
Don't be afraid to fail. We got to stop lying to ourselves that the opposite of success is failure. Right? You got to fail forward. I failed a lot, and I've cried, and I'm a mom. I have 5 kids, right? And so when I fail, I'm like, oh, how we gonna eat? How we gonna make them? Oh my goodness, my kids believing in the idea that's gonna have us outside in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Right? And then 2 minutes before the bill collector comes,
talk.
the contract opens up, and you be like, whoa.
Yes.
I'm like, we alive, kids. We alive. So you gotta have to have faith.
Yeah.
You need to have something to pray to, someone to pray to. I pray to God.
Yes.
Right? You need people around you who have similar beliefs, and you need people that have already having a proven track record of success.
Ooh.
Right? Not the people talking.
Oh.
You know, the people who actually have
Track record.
Evidence based. Men lie, women lie, numbers
don't lie.
receipts. Right?
Receipts.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this last bit that you're saying? People keeps running throughout this sentence. That's the word that runs through. The cOHllab was really birthed because this is what I always wanted to do, Ernestine, was interview those who are doing incredible things in the Carolinas and beyond. Thank you for that.
We're expanding. She's vision.
Expanding in vision, right? And so I'm just grateful that this incredible idea, like even being here at Everybody's Studios, came to life through collaboration. Tell the people, when you hear the word cOHllab, let's leave them off on like a little inspiring note so people can do this and get a feel for it. When you hear the word cOHllab, what does it inspire out of you?
Well, to be honest, the first thing I hear in cOHllab is
Oh, don't make my day.
cOHllab, right? That's the first thing I hear. But when I think of a lab in general, I think of things being developed, right? You're cooking up something, right? You know, in the kitchen and you whipping, you cooking up something. And usually if you're cooking up something, it's to be shared. Whether you're cooking up the next cancer treatment, whether you're cooking up your favorite recipe, it's to be shared, right? No one spend all the time in the lab just to eat it and consume it on their own. So when I think of cOHllab, I think of getting in a collaborative way to cook up something that's for the rest of the world to consume, right? Whether it's spiritual, mental, it's healing, whatever that situation is, that's what I think of. We're in the kitchen.
I have never been speechless after. Remember that? Yeah. Oh, trust me, we gonna remember that. Robbie, this is the first clip, okay? No, yes. Listen to me. There is nothing that needs to be said after that. Ladies and gentlemen, the visionary powHERhouse, the woman who literally is out here making change and impact in Baltimore and beyond, Ernestine Chambers of UpSkill, etc. How can we support you? Where can we follow? How can we collab with you?
Yeah, so really, www.upskill, and I'm from Baltimore, so it's SKILL. etc.com. You can contact us directly there. You can have access to my personal Instagram from there, but that's the best route to get in contact with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And definitely scroll the website, see all the incredible impact, and make sure that you and your business gets in on the growing as well. You said y'all were grow getters?
Grow getters.
That's hers, y'all. Don't play with it. Hashtag grow getters.
Hashtag, it's already patented. Don't do it.
That's a businesswoman. Okay? But listen, family, I love you all so much. Once again, thank you all for just being incredible collabers. Thank you for always tuning into these episodes. But listen, we want to keep this going, okay? So if you know any incredible impactors, visionaries, business owners doing great things right in your cul-de-sac, wherever you are, go ahead, send me an email, hello@ohaviaphillips.com, and brag about your favorites. I would love to get them in the studio to hear about their impact and definitely honor them, such as my sis, Ernestine Chambers. All right? So love you guys. Shout out to Everybody's Studios. Shout out to Robbie and the family. I love you guys so much. Thanks for your yes and also choosing to collab. And we'll see y'all next time. I'm going to go freestyle with Ernestine. You ready to rap?
All right, here we go again. Y'all heard that first.
JK, JK.